Welcome to Flourish in 5. My name is Heather Lottinen, and every Friday I share a story, a lesson, or a quick idea with the goal of helping you gain a new perspective. If you could please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, send to your friends, I would really appreciate it. Today, we're going to quickly talk about assumptions because we are making assumptions, I don't know, almost every minute of every day based on everything we are seeing or hearing. And we're doing that through our own lens or our own filter. Now, of course, logically, we understand that, but I want to talk about how that plays out in reality. And you know what the first three letters of assumption are? And that's because that's what we are being when we make assumptions. Last week, I posted on my personal Instagram account some photos and video in my stories of a dress that I had recently purchased on Amazon. And I was sharing it because I like fashion. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep the dress. And I articulated this by saying it was a little tight in the bum. It was a light gray t-shirt dress, wrap dress. It was really cute. The length was good. It's just kind of fitted for me. And I received so many kind comments and replies that it looked great. I should keep the dress, etc. But a lot of it was laced with don't worry about how your bum looks, and if you've got it, flaunt it, and your body looks great, and all this very kind encouragement. But I believe that many of these people, most of these people, dare I say all of these people, were assuming that I didn't want to keep the dress, or I was considering returning it because I didn't like the way my rear end looked in the dress, which was not the case. When I said that the dress was fitted and tight on my bum, I just don't like that. And I have a very nice bum. I am very fit. I exercise 6 to 7 days a week. I love the way I look. I have no problem with any part of my body, actually. So it wasn't that, I feel like maybe it looks too big or misshapen, or I didn't have any of those feelings. It was, I don't like to wear things that are fitted because I'm pretty conservative in how I dress, and I always have been. So I thought that was interesting that everybody automatically assumed I didn't like my bum when that was not the case. I just don't like things to be too short. I don't like things to be too fitted because of who I am as a person. Nothing to do with how I feel about my body, which is great. This also happened a few months ago. I had posted on Facebook asking for some insight as to what a mammogram looks like for someone who may or may not have a smaller chest. And I was being light and funny about it. I said I was asking for a friend. Of course, that was me. And I said, I'm just not sure how that works. And so I received well over 100 comments. Again, people encouraging me, and it's fine. And this is what it looks like. And yeah, it does hurt, but you'll be okay. But so many of those comments were, don't worry, you'll be fine. Don't be scared. There's nothing to fear. And I said nothing in my original post about being afraid or having fear, because I don't have that. When it comes to any type of medical test or procedure, literally you could do anything. It does not bother me. I mean, of course, if it's painful, I don't enjoy it, but I don't have any fear or intrepidation over things like that. I never have. I just go do what I have to do and it's done. But almost everyone that commented assumed that I was asking because I was afraid. And I wasn't. And I just wonder how many times we make assumptions about what we think people are implying when they say something or ask a question. Let me give you an example from my children, who I kind of threw under the bus last week. My kids are great most of the time. We were just having a difficult day. But sometimes Evan will ask me, what are you making for dinner? And I don't know how you feel about that question, but if you look at it on the surface level, it's a very innocent question. What are you making for dinner? But I used to snap back and say, well, what do you mean? Whatever I'm making, you're going to eat. Because I made the assumption that he was asking to determine whether or not he was going to like dinner. and you're going to be grateful. This is what I would think. You're going to be grateful and you're going to eat whatever is put on your plate, when he's like, literally, Mom, I'm just hungry. What are you making for dinner? Like, it's a really innocent question. It's just that I assigned a meaning, an interpretation to that question that was inaccurate. So I wonder if we could catch this sooner, faster. And instead of replying, we get curious and ask the person, oh, okay, you're having a mammogram and you're curious about how it works. Tell me more about that. Or what does that look like? And I would have said, well, I just don't know how they like physically maneuver that, like, or how the machine works or whatever. But there was no component of fear there. How often are you doing this in your most important relationships? And it's causing tension that does not need to be there. And it's simply because you made an assumption based on your own filter. Maybe you're worried that, or you have fear around medical tests, or you wouldn't wear the dress because you don't like the way your bum looks, which is totally fine. But we are projecting that onto other people, and it's really not fair. So if we do that to the people we love most, how much more are we doing that to people, say, on social media? And we're reading something, we're making an assumption, we are thinking that we understand what they are implying by what they are saying, and we have no clue. Maybe they're just a bad communicator. Maybe they're not communicating it well enough, or maybe you don't know them. Maybe you don't understand them. Could that be the case? Why do we immediately jump to these conclusions? Well, I suppose it's human nature, and our brains want to make sense of something. They want to find a reason. So they make that reason based on, your brain makes that reason based on its level of knowledge or where you're coming from. I just want you to question this. Whenever you are going to reply to someone, are you first making an assumption about what it means? A friend of mine sent me a text the other day, and she said something that could have really been taken the wrong way. Although I had a feeling she didn't mean it that way. I asked her, what are you implying with this statement? And then she replied, and it was actually quite funny. It wasn't anything cruel or rude. Thank goodness I asked, right? I could have immediately made some sort of decision or have replied based on what I thought she meant by that, but instead I just asked. So instead of jumping to a conclusion and assumption based on what you would feel or what you think other people feel, maybe you could just ask a question, or you could say, okay, I'm not sure I fully understand. Could you tell me more about that? I hope that you found this useful. I'll see you in the next episode.